This is News 6 Tonight.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Friday edition of News 6 Tonight. We are so happy that you made it through an entire week with us. Hopefully, you did. And now we're all getting ready for the weekend. I'm Ginger Gadsden. You may notice that my co-host tonight is not Matt Austin. Yeah. This is Tylisa Hampton. You're one of our newest community correspondents. And when I say new, you are new. You started, I looked it up. You started September 15th. You're just a month
really
in.
looked it up
I
to the
did, to the
date.
day. Yeah, that's when you started. So we're so happy to have you here. You're our West Orange community correspondent,
Yes.
right? But we can find you in other
You can
communities as
find
well.
me in your neighborhood. As long as the story is out there,
Yeah.
I will probably most likely be there.
Yeah, exactly. And we've loved having you. We've seen you do your thing. In the short time that you've been here, you've already made an impression on so many people. And we're going to talk about one of the stories that you are covering tonight that it touches my heart and it just makes so many people upset. So I'm interested to see the reporting on that story tonight. But we have a lot of other stories to get to, starting with the one that happened. Imagine you're just out doing your job and minding your business and just out in the community, and you find yourself in the middle of crossfire, gunfire. That is crazy, right? You
I
just
think
don't
you're
expect that to happen.
It feels like your fight or flight would kick in,
Yeah.
and I'm scared it would not
Are you a
kick
flight girl?
in. I'm a
Yeah.
freeze girl.
Freeze.
I
Okay.
might freeze.
Oh my
I might
gosh.
be like,
Okay.
wait, what happened?
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. So this is what happened. It was a typical house call for a Massey employee. They come out and they do a whole lot of other things, but the one thing they're known for, you see them out spraying people's lawn. They do pest control, things like that. But it ended with gunfire. And what happened next is just incredible. Our community correspondent, Mike Valenti, picks up the story from there.
Adam Jones is the Vice President and Director of Quality Assurance for Massey Services, a name you've probably seen emblazoned on pest control trucks around town. But typically, those trucks do not have bullet holes in them.
He was shooken up, but he seemed to be okay.
A Massey technician was about to leave his truck and get started on a service call when the technician noticed two guys arguing in the parking lot. Then the technician saw the other guy pull out a gun.
After that, the person who was shot physically dove through the open window into the cab of the vehicle and landed inside of our vehicle. Wow. Now, the good news is our team member did not panic. He handled the situation unbelievably well. Most people wouldn't have been that calm, quite frankly, but kept his cool, was able to engage his vehicle into drive mode and escape the situation.
The truck was hit at least twice. The technician was okay. When our crew got on scene, the victim's shoes were still inside. And the Massey employee told us off camera his uniform was covered in blood.
I think it was just he was unfortunately in the wrong place at the wrong time, or maybe in the right place at the right time for this gentleman.
I can't even imagine that's the bullet holes in the truck.
That's one thing.
Exactly. But then, the end of the part of Mike's story is like the tech's clothes are covered in blood, and it's not his blood. It's the guy who's the victim in this. It is insane.
It felt like every minute of his story, something more was happening on top of the next. Like, okay, there's bullet holes in the truck. And then to hear that the person that was shot jumped into the truck. I mean,
That's the part that I think would have frightened me even more than the shooting, because now who's in the truck with you?
yes. And then, yes, I mean, you do put it in drive and go, but how long do you go?
Yeah, exactly. So we're told that his wounds were non-life threatening. And the last we heard is that they may have a person of interest who they are talking to, but we're not sure if that is the person who they believe to be the suspect. But the victim, again, once in this case, has non-life threatening injuries, and that is the best news possible. And hopefully this tech with Massey will get a few days off to recover and kind of, gather himself. So, and hopefully
take the weekend, take the whole week.
Say-
actually.
I would ask for a little more than that, but but hopefully he's going to recover and be okay, because that is shocking to hear that happen. All right, so we'll keep you updated on that story, and you can find the latest on clickorlando.com. Another story, Tylisa, that people have been talking about. There was a guy there was a woman actually. She was on this jogging trail, and she was attacked. And they did not catch the guy until a few weeks later. And then he was released on bond. Even the judge said that his record was atrocious. Those are the judge's words. She said, your record is atrocious. But she set his bond for $9,500, which means it's $950 is what he paid to get out. And people were so alarmed. They're like, he has no tracking device, so you don't know where he is. Why in the world would someone like this be allowed to go out and just be out there and possibly do this again? Now, he hasn't been convicted of anything. He's just accused. And some of the things that he told the judge, it was just remarkable to hear that, and the fact that he still made bond and was out. Well, we learned today from our Catherine Silver and her reporting, she's been on this story from the very beginning, that he possibly, days after being released, violated the conditions of his bond. So here's Catherine Silver with that report.
This is the motion to revoke bond that was just obtained by News 6. It says when Jacoby Tillman was released this weekend, he was ordered not to have any direct or indirect contact with the victim or any witnesses in the case. But prosecutors say he made comments directed at a witness. Screenshots of Tillman's alleged TikTok show a text message that prosecutors say was sent by the witness to Tillman in the past. They believe Tillman posted that message with a caption that reads in part, quote, "Stop going to the news telling lies." Prosecutors argue that is grounds to revoke Tillman's bond, which was set at $9,500 by a judge this weekend. At the time, she gave this word of warning.
If I get any inkling that you have violated the conditions of pretrial release, you will be arrested on a no bond warrant, you'll be put right back in jail, and you will not get out. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
We're also learning that Tillman is now facing an added charge of attempted murder, which is a first-degree felony. Investigators say the 23-year-old tried to rape and strangle a woman on the Little Econ Greenway Trail in July. Court records show Tillman has pled not guilty to the charges. There is a hearing set for next week, which means Tillman could be ordered to go back to jail as soon as Tuesday. In the newsroom, I'm Catherine Silver, News 6.
And as you might imagine, people are really on edge about this young man being out in the community. And especially when you see some of those other charges, they're pretty serious.
But then just to be the witness that potentially got that message, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. When you think, okay, this guy's got definitely, they caught him, he's behind bars, he's going to be there, and I'm going to be safe until his trial. And then to hear something like that, it's just startling. And one of the things he said, because it was for rape and strangulation, but he told the judge he didn't want to rape anyone, he just wanted to see what it was like to kill someone. Um, and that, I think, was the part that had people so upset about bond being set at all. So we'll figure out and see what happens, and maybe he will end up back behind bars, but certainly a clear violation according to what the judge said. And she was very clear when she let him go that you are to not do this, this, and this. And he did this.
and this.
Yeah,
I mean, you can
exactly.
understand why people are concerned.
Yeah, anyone would be concerned. So that's a story, of course, we'll stay on top of. And Catherine Silver has done a great job in keeping us informed and up to date on that. And we'll have, of course, the latest always on clickorlando.com. This next story, Tylisa, I want you to tell it, because this is the story that you're covering for the news tonight at 10 and 11 o'clock. But it happened during Hurricane Milton. Are you a dog lover, an animal lover at all?
Okay, so I'm a dog appreciator.
Okay, good. That's good. That's a great start. That's a great start. Well, this little dog was found during Hurricane Milton, tied up to a fence on
I saw the video.
on
Could not believe my
I-75.
eyes.
Yeah, exactly. And a storm was on the horizon and the waters were rising. So tell us a little bit about what this story is.
Okay, so recently, probably as of today, that they announced the man that was accused of tying this dog up to the fence before that hurricane came, the charges were dropped. And so I went out and I talked to people. I talked to a lawmaker that was also a part of that unanimous decision to pass the trooper law. And then I also spoke with a woman who's a part of a rescue animal shelter, and they're both kind of in the same boat where they say they can't believe that the charges were dropped, but also they want more enforcement done moving forward.
Yeah, okay. So let's look at your story that you're going to have for the news tonight at 10 and 11 o'clock.
Several people that I spoke with today tell me they were extremely disappointed by the outcome, and they say hopefully more enforcement is done in the future.
I don't blame you.
It's an outcome some are not thrilled about.
Incredibly disappointing.
I was upset, but not shocked.
Giovanni Garcia was arrested in October 2024 after Florida troopers found the dog, now known as Trooper, in nearly chest-deep water tied to a fence before Hurricane Milton on I-75. Garcia was facing animal cruelty charges, but the Hillsborough County State Attorney's Office just dropped them. In a statement, the office says, in part, quote, "We determined that we did not have sufficient evidence to prove that the defendant intentionally tied the dog to the fence in rising floodwaters."
I think all of us are disappointed by that outcome, but of course, this issue led to legislation, so ideally it never happens again.
State Representative Ana Escamani helped pass Troopers Law in a unanimous vote back in May. As of October 1st, it is now a third-degree felony to restrain and abandon a dog outdoors during a declared national disaster.
When it comes to disaster preparedness, you need to take responsibility of your pet, and if you think you can't, there needs to be awareness of the options for you to ensure that pet's going to be in a safe place.
The punishment is up to 5 years in prison and a fine. But the founder of Rescue Pink Animal Justice Task Force believes more needs to be done to make sure this doesn't happen again.
What we need are state attorneys, prosecutors, and judges to start enforcing the current laws we already have.
As for Trooper, he has come a long way. Vets found several pounds of trash in his stomach. Later, he was treated for cancer. We recently shared an update from his new family.
He still has a little bit of PTSD, I would say. He reacts when he hears certain noises. He really reacts, jumps into the air. He's frightened by it.
Oh, I thank you for including the update on his new life in this story, because it was just such a tragic start when we first met him. But it's one of those stories where you're like, how in the well, he didn't tie himself to the fence.
Right. He didn't. And then, when I looked at the video and then you can see how high that water was, I mean, dogs most likely feel what we feel. So that fear, I feel like I'm saying it all night, but I really cannot imagine the fear. And then you can hear the police officer in the background saying, "Okay, calm down, boy.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
understand."
yeah, exactly. And I'm so glad that he came across Trooper, and that he had that empathy and the wherewithal to, like, okay, this dog needs my help, because he had a busy day that day. He had to probably help people too, but he cared enough about that poor creature to rescue him. And now Trooper's living his best life ever with his
You
new
gotta
human.
end the story on a smile,
Yeah, oh
because
my
if you
gosh.
started off that sad,
Yeah.
hopefully you can end it off with a
Yeah, yeah, and you did that for us for sure. Great job and great reporting. And look for that story again tonight at 10 and 11 o'clock on the news. All right, we're not done yet. Tylisa, you're doing a great job. You're killing it. You're killing it right now. But when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about how you came here and what your responsibilities here are as a community correspondent. And we're going to talk about how much you love it here and how you want to stay here forever when we come back. Yeah, and he got the latest from the show just a little while ago, I think. So we'll make sure we have that for News 6 tonight. Hey, thanks for stopping by. We know you're busy, but news doesn't stop, and neither do we.
That's right. And this is News 6 Tonight, where we leverage this entire busy newsroom with our community correspondents, our producers, our content desk, and then we filter through that. We have a casual conversation about the news that impacts Central Florida.
Yeah, we live here in the community, and we rely on you for our neighborhood network, because you're our eyes and ears as well, and we can't do it without you.
So you can watch us all over the place: YouTube, News 6 Plus app, and clickorlando.com. While you're here, feel free to engage. Let us know who you are and where you're from.
Hey, welcome back to News 6 tonight, everyone. I'm here with my co-host on this Friday, Tylisa Hampton, our newest community correspondent. You're going to get to know a little bit more about her coming up in just a moment. But first, we want to talk to you about a story that a lot of parents are very interested in following very closely, and that's the vaccine mandates in Florida. And they've changed recently, where our Surgeon General has said parents will now have control over what shots their kids get, if they get any shots at all. And some of the parents are concerned because they're saying, okay, we're seeing an increase in this disease and that disease, but other parents are saying my child is compromised. But your kids can still get a vaccine if they need it. Here's our community correspondent, Laverne McGee, with that story.
We'll always be able to find a way to navigate to where we need to be.
Speaking at the Moms for Liberty Summit in Osceola County, Florida's Surgeon General, Dr. Joseph Ladapo, praised the group for its work in backing his efforts to eliminate vaccine mandates. Former Brevard County School Board member Tina Deskovich is co-founder and CEO.
He did a great job explaining his latest stance on stopping mandates for children and how nobody should have the power to force you to inject something into yourself or into your child.
As the head of the Florida Department of Health, Dr. Ladapo has already removed some mandates, while others will need action from the legislature, something he asked the group to help with.
So we're working on removing those, and we're going to need the cooperation of our lawmakers and to be able to do those. And, so we're working on that too.
With the surge in whooping cough cases in Florida and outbreak of measles in South Carolina, there is a concern among some about removing vaccine mandates.
Having the position that Ladapo has for our state about returning that medical decision-making to the parents. If you want to get your child vaccinated, you still have that right. But the parents that don't, for whatever reason they choose, they should have that right too.
Okay, and that's the thing we want to emphasize. Parents still have the right to make the choice. They're not saying you don't vaccinate your kids. Just if you don't want to or for whatever particular reason, then you don't have to. And some parents we also spoke to say they don't feel comfortable sending their kids to school around other kids who aren't vaccinated. But that's a story that, it will continue, and we'll see what happens as some of the numbers for some of the diseases go up, because there's been an outbreak of measles in some cases, and then whooping cough is also on the rise.
And it seems like with the vaccine mandates, parents just have so many decisions to make, not just for their child, but potentially, okay, well, what happens if I let my kid in a room? So
Sure,
I have to
yeah.
think about this, I have to think about that.
Yeah,
It seems
yeah.
like it's a lot going on
Yeah,
there.
but the bottom line is it's up to the parents now. You still have the choice, and they're not saying don't vaccinate your kids. All right, let's talk a little bit about you. I know that's it's really when you're on that side of you're used to asking the questions, right? Exactly. All right, so you've only been here, as I said, a very short time, but you have already made an impression. You're our community correspondent in West Orange.
Yes.
Right? How has that been so far?
Oh, it's been lovely. I think it helps that I live in West Orange also. So every day I get to familiarize myself with the community. And even this week I got to go out to Hamlin, and there was an ice cream shop, and they're really struggling to survive.
Yeah.
They had put out this post saying that, they could potentially close because they were having financial difficulties. I live probably just 10 minutes away from there.
Oh
So
my goodness, yeah.
It's very interesting to live so close and then report in the community that you live in.
Yeah, and because you see it actually happening because it's down the road from you, so it's your neighborhood, so you have a vested interest in making sure that okay, people should know about this.
Yes. And then it makes it better because as a reporter, you are going out every day talking to people. You want them to know that you care because you do care. And that's why you're doing the job in the first place, because you want to report the stories that people care about the most and make a difference. And so when they see that and they're like, okay, well, you live down the street from me. We can talk on this day. We can talk here. It makes it better.
Yeah, they're readily available, and then when they see you too, they feel more comfortable. I can tell that you care because this is a story you don't know. I'm going to tell this story because you only been here for a short time. No, don't be scared. You were crunching for deadline not long ago, crunching, and I was like, okay, just do whatever you have to do. And I can't,
history,
but
people. Me and Ginger, we said studio right next to each
Yes, yes. And I always want to say hello. But I came in and I could see that you were busy. The next morning I come in, I find a little note, a handwritten note on my desk. She's like, I'm sorry, I wanted to say hello, but I was under deadline. And I was like, girl, if you had the choice between saying hello to me and making deadline, you made the right choice. So I could
I was
tell that
so
you really
lost there
care.
with the earphones, and I saw you, and I was like, I want to say hi, but I gotta.
No, you made the right choice. You made the right choice. Okay, quickly. Where did you come from? Where were you before here?
So I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas, and that's actually where I came. I didn't start there,
Mhm.
but I started in a place called Harlingen, Texas. If you do not know it, look it on a map. I had to look it up too.
Yeah, yep.
But I reported there for about 2 years, and then I went on back home to Little Rock, Arkansas. Was there for over 3 years. It was amazing. I felt like I learned so much. And then, I mean, I feel like everybody has that experience where you're working with people that you grew up watching, and so
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
little like, oh my gosh. But I mean, coming here, it's been otherworldly because I mean, I have family here also,
Oh, that's
and
nice.
different climates. So we're all learning. We're all learning.
We're all learning. Yeah, humidity is real.
You
It
know,
is
I feel
real.
like every day people are telling me about that Florida weather, and everybody's like, "You actually came at a good time," and I'm like,
Is it? It's still 90 when you came, but it's in the 80s now. All right, that's a great transition, Tylisa, because we want to talk now. Jonathan Kegas is off, but we have a special guest. Hey, David, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good, Ginger. How about for you
I don't
both?
know
I've been
why my
enjoying the
voice went
show
up
back here.
sing-songy. David Nazario, it is so nice to have you tonight. And Tylisa transitioned nicely into weather for us because it is going to be a beautiful weekend. And it's Biketoberfest, so we have hundreds of thousands of people here and all of the things that are going on in downtown Orlando.
Oh, yeah, definitely, definitely. We'll go ahead and get you right over to the headlines right now,
Yeah.
what we're tracking here in Central Florida. And if you look, mild temperatures and some clouds are going to remain in the forecast through tonight and then especially tomorrow as another front comes through. On the second bulletin there, we have the rains picking up late Sunday, but it's going to be mostly an evening to overnight type of event as another front sweeps through. And then at the bottom, even though we're ready to rock into the fall holiday season, the spooky season, it is still hurricane season.
Oof.
So our eyes are on the Caribbean right now. You take a look outside on the current outlook from National Hurricane Center. We have two areas, one of which way up in the North Atlantic. I'm not too sure why they stamped that, to tell you the truth. I could get into the reasoning behind that, but it's up there. It's that infamous yellow blip. It's the one in the Caribbean that we're really going to be paying attention to, and our models are really not throwing a bone on that one. And it continues to kind of, it trends in all sorts of different directions. I'll have all the information coming up next at the 9:30 digital show here right after this concludes. And yeah, all in all, it looks like fall's trying to come on in, but we can't quite take our foot off the gas pedal tracking the tropics just yet.
Yeah, because hurricane season is till the end of November. But the folks who are, like Tylisa is new here, and there are people who are visiting for the first time here. They're in Daytona Beach for Biketoberfest. They really came at a good time.
Oh yeah, big time. Big time. They really did.
Yeah. All right, David, we will see you at 9:30 and then again on the news at 10 and 11 o'clock. Thank you so much for that. All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome to News 6 Tonight. We are so thankful that you're joining us here wherever you found us.
Yeah, you know what this tells me? If you have made this your new streaming destination, it tells me you're smart, also good looking, because you chose to watch the news in a different way. That makes you really smart. Anybody can give you the news from a teleprompter or an old newspaper. We do it in a fresh new way.
That's right. So check us out wherever you like to stream. We have this app for your TV, News 6 Plus. You can find it on Roku and Amazon and whatever your smart TV is cooking. So thank you. We would love to hear your comments down
Oh my
below.
gosh. Yeah.
And then we'll show them.
Yeah, we will. News 6 Plus. The plus is you.
Ooh.
All right. Hey, thank you so much for sticking around with us for the entire News 6 tonight on a Friday, nonetheless. So hopefully you got caught up on the day's headlines and hopefully you got to know a little bit more about Tylisa. Do you have any plans for the weekend? What's your favorite thing that you've done here so far?
Man, that one's okay. It's gonna sound so bad,
No,
but
no,
I
let
love
us have it.
furniture.
Okay, yeah, you might be right, but go ahead. I love furniture. Go on, that's a start.
Internally, I am not supposed to be this age and love that. Like, yard sales, oh my gosh, Ginger, I'm in so many Facebook yard sale groups.
Are
It is
you?
insane. I
Okay.
love Facebook yard sales. I'm like, okay, what yard sale can I go to? Can I refurbish some furniture? Like
Okay.
that's something I want to get into.
All right, but you're not buying it are you buying it from Marketplace or I
Okay,
just want you to be careful is all I'm
I feel like
stressing,
everybody
which you know.
everybody should be cautious.
Okay. All right.
And make sure that you're dealing with a an actual person and then an actually legit safe person.
Okay. So look for Tylisa at a yard sale near you.
Find me at
Yeah.
the yard sales, I promise.
Tylisa, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. You did a wonderful job, and it's really nice to have you here with us at News 6. All right, we'll see you back here again with the latest headlines coming up at 10 o'clock. Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend.